Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we're live on this Friday morning. Hashtag Finally Friday. You made it through another week, and summer is almost upon us. You know, yesterday, it was almost 90 degrees outside. Crazy already. And we're not even into June yet. My co-host, Randy Ramsey, is, I'm sure, very willing to commiserate with me. Have you been outside lately?
I have. And they're predicting mosquito swarms because of all the rain. So it's going to be hot and gross and filled with piles of mosquitoes.
Well, I've been hearing about the mosquitoes. Luckily, I live along the bayou. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with them yet. I think for some reason over the last few years, mosquitoes have developed a distaste for my blood. So I'm happy with that. Everybody around me, they're getting bitten, but not me. So
you're like Nosferatu over there. They're like, oh, not tasty. Not tasty.
So, yeah, and I'm out all the time. So, they just don't come after me.
They freaking love me. Apparently, old and fat is their favorite snack. Like, it's gross. I'm swarmed all the time. It might be because I'm sweet and delicious.
You're sweet and delicious. Okay, well, we'll go with that. Yeah, the mosquitoes know what they're doing. Hey, we want to thank everyone watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're here just about every morning that HCC is in session, live at 10 a.m. And Randy, they can also catch us in social media and on HCCTV as well.
That's right. They can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and HCCTV. And that's noon, 5 and 10, Monday through Friday. I know I'm repeating you, but repetition is, Alfred Cervantes says you got to say everything 3 times.
You do, yeah, in order for somebody to comprehend it. So that's right. We will. You've got a guest coming up. I think your guest. You guys do a history, but before we get to that, I want to introduce our second guest. Jeryn Woodard Mayer is an HCC art history professor and the winner of the NISOD award winner. Good morning, Jeryn.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you.
So we're looking forward to hearing about your honor and the award. Congrats on that. Stick around. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm going to turn things over to you because you've got a special guest, Randy.
Yes, I do. I have my favorite partner in crime back. It's Julye Newlin. She is an adjunct professor here at HCC in the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. She's also a professor at the University of Houston. She's also a local filmmaker. She's also done so many cool things. It's out of control. Julye Newlin, welcome back.
Well, Randy, that's a lot to say about me.
I forgot to say, award-winning. My favorite fact about Julye is that she was on the Nautilus with Jacques Cousteau. That's my favorite thing in the world. She scuba dives. She's a cinematographer. It's crazy. Is there anything that you don't do?
I don't clean windows and I don't paint houses.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to be a roofer either.
That seems really hot. No, it's hot. Yeah. I don't want to do that. As I said, I'm opposed to heat and mosquitoes, so that's not going to work for me either. How about let's talk about?
Wait a second. Why are
this
you
is where the
living in a
paychecks
swamp?
are. I live in
Okay,
because,
all right.
But also, I do live in a swamp. Southwest Alternate Media Project, the swamp.
That's
you want to
true.
fill.
That's true.
That's right. You're also one of our board members at Swamp. And
I am.
Let's talk about your work as a board member for Swamp, as a collaborator with Houston Media Source, with other HCC. You've had a lot going on right now.
I've had a couple of things going on. Yeah. One of the things I think is wonderful about Houston is that we do have a robust group of artists that do amazing work. And whether it is that you're talking about something like the Art Car Parade or you're talking about the filmmakers who are here, there's an incredibly talented group of people, including some of the painters that we have here and writers. It's amazing to me. And it's an unknown fact about Houston. I don't know why we keep it a secret, but apparently we like to keep it a secret.
Well, let's talk about some of the recent collaborations you've been involved with some of our community partners. Let's start with the Orange Show.
Oh, goodness gracious. So Swamp had set up doing some partnerships with the Orange Show and HMS and the folks from HCC. And we actually had some high school students that participated, which I thought was wonderful. Randy, actually, you headed that up for Swamp. And we thought it was great to give a lot of the students an experience of working with a live television truck, because we don't have one that's readily available at a university to use, but HMS does have one. And one of the things that's great about having a community partner that has a live television truck is that you can do live television events and stream them. And that's something that's accessible to anyone who becomes a member of HMS.
Right. And we did 5 concerts live. We did live switching with HCC students. It was really great. You can find those on YouTube. And we had 5 high school students from our teen Filmmaker boot camp who came out and worked with us as well. So I thought that
and
was
I love
great.
those kids. Those kids are great. They're a lot of fun. The ones who really get into the Swamp Summer Camp, they end up carrying that on. And that's a lot of fun to see that they fall in love with the process.
But you've also been collaborating with HCC professor Kate Phillips. You've done it twice now, where you've brought students onto a set with professionals to mentor them directly while shooting a film.
That's absolutely correct. So there was a brain trust of yourself and myself and some of the other partners in the community, people like Molly Vernon, HMS, to try to get more collaboration. It's one of the things that we really want. We want more collaboration between filmmakers. Rather than them staying isolated in little vacuums, we want to encourage them to come out and work on some films, because Swamp can assist them. So can HMS. And then, of course, we have a cornucopia of students that are available, be they from HCC or U of H. There are a lot of students who get interested in film, and they learn a lot while they're in school. However, to have working professionals show them step by step process in the field, we feel is incredibly valuable. And so we developed this idea of creating teaching sets. And in that case, we have a student that shadows a professional and can ask questions and can learn to work on those sets.
We were really lucky the last time. We had George Mays, who's a gaffer who's been on a million things, too many to count. We had Stephanie Bogdan, who's a great first AC, directly mentored Jonathan Alvarado, as well as a couple of our current students. Jonathan's a recent grad. He's been working with Stephanie pretty regularly since the training set, so that's been really good.
Absolutely.
And I think we had 11 students on that set, all from HCC.
We did, and they learned a lot. George was fabulous. He took the time out to spend with the students and really teach them about lighting and grip and what the different tools were. He took the time to actually name them for the students, show them proper usage. And of course, both he and I had the torture of putting up the dolly, a Fisher dolly, which usually takes a bit of time. It's not something that happens very quickly. And the students learned to level the track after the second time that George had gone through the process. The students were able to set up the track. And it was so much fun to watch them go through that process, proper procedure for lifting a Fisher, proper procedure for putting the camera on. It was very exciting to me to watch them actually grow in that environment and learn those steps from the professionals.
That's an experience they wouldn't get, because none of the universities, none of the schools have Fisher dollies. So that was correct. A rental piece that we added specifically to train everybody in how to do it properly. So that's an experience they weren't going to get in class, which is exactly the purpose of these training sets.
Correct. Well, and if we hadn't had the support of Hassan Naji, and I cannot thank him enough for the support of giving us the opportunity for the students to work with the Area Alexa, to have the opportunity to work with some beautiful Zeiss prime lens glass, and to have a truck that was available to us as well as the dolly. It was quite the coup, both for Hannah and for Kate, to work with those tools.
Well, and kudos to Kate Phillips, another HCC professor who has been really 100% on board with this process and with recruiting students. I think it's really unbelievable.
Yes, I absolutely feel the same way. And I am so tickled. And Swamp is interested in developing further relationships and collaborations. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a mission for me. It's one of the reasons why I sit on the board, is that it's a mission for me to try to get more collaboration between the younger generation and the older generation, and to have more collaborations in the city so that we have filmmakers who are working with other filmmakers. Oftentimes people get caught in this vacuum, and if it would step up their game to learn to work with some people who have had more experience, who have gone out and done other things. Because this is a town where it's sort of a jack of all trades town. You have to be familiar with music video, you have to be familiar with corporate, you have to be familiar with filmmaking, because you're going to be asked to do those things. And I think it's a great experience for all of them to be able to work with pros and have access to gear that they wouldn't ordinarily have access to.
Well, thanks for being on the show again, Julie. Thanks for talking about the program and our great HCC
Absolutely.
film faculty. We're super excited.
Absolutely.
Julie will be here this summer teaching cinematography as an adjunct.
I will indeed.
And she'll be here with the Swamp Team Summer Boot Camp, which starts in June. So we'll have another short film to bring to you guys, Todd, at the end of the summer.
Can't wait.
My partner in crime. We're going to get in some trouble on the A-Leaf campus.
Well, that's what makes us fun, Randy. Yeah. That's really what makes us fun.
We put the fun in dysfunctional.
All right. Thank you both. Good to see you, Julie. All right.
Take care.
We've got another guest we're going to be talking about, NISOD award winner, Jeryn Woodard Mayer. Jeryn, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you as well.
So the award, the chancellor says, recognize outstanding faculty members who exemplify professionalism and passion in driving our student success. Have they had the NISOD International Conference already? And did you get a chance to go?
It is in Austin, and I'm not going to get to go. I have teenage boys who are headed to Europe, so I'm trying to get that worked out. So I'm not going to get to go to the national conference.
Tell us a little bit about your time at HCC.
So I have been at HCC my whole adult life. I started as what I felt like was a teenager right out of graduate school. I was hired by Michael Golden, who's a HCC art department icon. And I've been there 22 years. So wow. Long time.
Long time. And art history. Now, for people who are non-art majors, what benefits would you get from taking art history classes?
So I actually get this question a lot from students. Most of my students are not art majors, and they are not quite sure what art history will do for their business or engineering or nursing degrees. In art history, we think a lot about building good global citizens. So much of what we do is about learning how to understand how the world systems, government systems, religions, philosophical systems, all of that impact our built environment. And so I wasn't an art history major when I took my first art history class, and the class felt like it unlocked a secret world for me. It helped me move through the world more comfortably. It gave me a better sense of how to engage with people who may be different than me. And so I feel like it can do that for our students as well.
If you think about it, it's hard to believe 3 years ago at this time, we were all literally doing what we're doing now, but it was a way of life. You were instructing online. And I know our faculty really got up to speed right away to start doing the students' classes online. What are were there any positive changes that you made to your classes during the pandemic that you continue to practice now?
Sure. Actually, the first part of it, we were all kind of seeking out community. I think we all felt so isolated. So as we struggled to build community in online classes, Once the Museum of Fine Arts started opening up to visitors as long as they were masked, I decided to host optional museum visit days for my students. And so I just would say, hey, everybody in all of my classes, so all 5 of my classes, I'll be here at this time. It's free. Come and see me if you want. No pressure, but if you want to do that. And we had a blast. I had students getting together from different types of classes, Art History 1, Art History 2, Art Appreciation. And we would go, we'd have a theme for the day. Maybe we're going to look at images that are associated with different religions, or maybe images that I think are linked to a theme like compassion. And so we would just get together and look around. I'm still doing that as long as everybody's into it. And even if we just have, 3 or 4 people, it becomes a really lovely experience. And so I've kept doing that. I think that people are still struggling with connection after the pandemic. And so I decided that would be a way that I could sort of help build those connections.
I imagine the students appreciated that, because for a while we were getting stir crazy and things started reopening again.
They really do. And it's nice to be able to connect with students who are not in your class. So we all sort of are thinking about the same types of things. Maybe we're studying different time periods, but you may have a single mom whose kids are, in school that day. And so she gets to come and have a day where she feels like it's something for her. I get that sort of student. And, I had some high school kids, people who were in my dual credit classes, who would come and feel like they were doing something grown up, So it was a really nice experience. It still is a really nice experience.
Now, you're doing some research. What is the subject of your research that you're currently doing?
I am. I'm enrolled in a PhD program. Finally, I've decided to go back and complete that. I'm enrolled in a PhD program at Mary Immaculate College in Limerick, Ireland. They're allowing me to do things virtually and do my research as I sort of hop over there every couple months. So I research public art generally, but specifically I research the murals in Belfast. And I go over there, every time HCC has a long weekend, I go over there and interview artists and do studio visits and things like that.
And how does your research impact your teaching?
Well, I'm really drawn to public art because I grew up in a place where art museums were not really accessible. I didn't go to a real art museum until I was getting a master's in art history. So public art for me is the most democratic form of art. It is there for everyone. And I like to take my students around, especially around HCC Central, to see all of the public art that's available and get them to see that public art is there for them, which means that art is there for them. All art is there for them. I think that, the murals, especially in Belfast and the murals in Houston too, allow students to connect with an artwork in a way that is not intimidating. They can, say, oh, that's in my neighborhood. Somebody has put that in my neighborhood. That means that I have art in my space. And so I think that public art, like I said, is the sort of democratic form of art. And I like to research it because I like to see art in everybody's environment all the time.
In Belfast, how would you say, if you could say the murals is there a theme or something that's uniquely different than over here? I mean, is it, what would that involve?
Well, so in my initial draw to Belfast was the murals that represent the sectarian violence of the Troubles. So there are a lot of images that for an international viewer seem threatening. You might not want it on your wall of your house. Some of them are created or, commissioned by paramilitaries, illegal organizations, and things like that. So I was drawn to that because I'm interested to see how those kinds of images impact the daily life of people and impact the way people think about art. So what is pretty clear in Belfast is that those kinds of images, even though they are threatening, the fact that there is paint on walls everywhere, the current count in Belfast City is about almost 1,000 murals.
Wow.
The fact that there is paint everywhere has encouraged a new generation of artists who call themselves street artists. And they are aerosol painters and graffiti artists and people like that. And they are sort of reclaiming some of the walls and creating an even greater sense of a sort of painted city in Belfast. Yeah.
One final question. We've only got about 30 seconds left, but one final question. You work with the honors classes. How do you prepare those students for international travel?
So I loved working with the honors kids. They are thrilling, and they have a spring break trip every year. It's usually, somewhere international. COVID affected that, of course. What we do with, and my colleagues do this as well with honors college classes, is we look at where they're going. We say, okay, what can we show them in class that will be there so they can see it in person and can really connect with it? So we alter the curriculum a little bit in order to make sure that they are fully prepared to see those works in person.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing where the next destination is going to be next spring. I know they haven't named it yet, but we're looking forward to that. Jeryn Woodard Mayer, we appreciate you joining us on the show. She's an HCC art history professor and now a NISOD award winner. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Woo-hoo.
All right. We've got a few announcements to kick your weekend off. One thing you need to be aware of is academic advising is closed today. They're having a professional development day. They will be back on Monday, May the 22nd. So keep that in mind. You can check HCC's virtual lobby for more information. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, Randy.
Yes, and HCC has workshops all month as part of our recognition of Mental Health Month. Next week, there'll be 2 virtual sessions to address mental health challenges. 11 a.m. Tuesday, May 23rd, mental health and address the stress for full-time employees. And this presentation is to help understand the mental health benefits of the Health Select Medical Plan. And then on Tuesday at 2, also May 23rd, part-time employees overcoming burnout. And that's because burnout is different from stress. And it offers tips and lifestyle improvements. So check your email for Teams link to log in. I could certainly use some burnout avoidance.
Yeah, we all want to avoid that. Hey, Ableton, you heard of Ableton, the program for recording?
Yes, I have. The Ableton Live Summer Workshop with Dave Schwarma is coming up. Sharma. Yeah, I said shawarma. I must be hungry.
I know. It's shawarma, but it's shawarma. Yeah. Learn how to use Ableton Live music recording software this summer. Only $99. 2 sessions. You'll learn how to use the application for making beats and audio recordings in a state-of-the-art music studio. It's at HCC's North Forest campus, noon to 4 p.m. Saturdays, June 3 and 10. We will have the information in our post after the show where you can register for this. And STEM summer camps are all available right now across the district.
Yeah. HCC and Verizon are offering free summer STEM camps for middle school students. There'll be hands-on learning and design, thinking, 3D printing, augmented reality, social entrepreneurship, and mentorship. Session 1, June 5th to the 23rd at the HCC West Institute, Houston Institute, which is right there at the A-Leaf campus.
That's right.
So that's super exciting.
Yeah,
that place is going to be crawling with kids because that's the same time that our summer camp is. So there'll be middle schoolers and high schoolers everywhere.
Oh, that's right. Because you're going to be at the A-Leaf campus and they'll be at West Houston Institute.
Across the parking lot at the West Houston Institute, which, by the way, is very, very nice.
I know. I'm out there all the time. Yeah, I think we're having convocation there next one.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Brave Conversations. HCC's Counseling and Ability Services will host Women's Perspectives, creating a space for brave conversations on women's sexual health. It's 11 a.m. Friday, June the 9th. So I believe that's coming up. So you can check it out. It's a Zoom session. We'll have some information where you can register and check it out after the show's over in our social media post. Mm-hmm. And fall registration is open. Can you believe we're already into the summer and fall's not that far away?
The mosquito bites on my arms tell me that.
That's what tells you.
Fall, as always, 5 ways to learn, online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid in person, and hybrid lab. To learn more about our programs, you go to hccs.edu/apply. Great stuff coming up in the fall. We already have our full roster of classes available for you to look at. Super good.
Yep. The main thing is apply early. Make sure you get your registration taken care of, because a lot of the classes will fill up. So you want to keep that up. Okay, Monday is Mental Health Monday, and we'll talk with HCC's Counseling and Ability Services about the brave conversations we were just talking about. They'll be here to talk about that. And we'll visit with the folks from HCC's Upward Bound Summer Camp. As we mentioned, we've got summer camps going on literally the district, but we'll have information on that on Monday as well. Randy, I know you always have a busy weekend. You got a lot on tap this weekend as well, so I know you'll be busy taking the kids.
The kids are going to a scout camp out with their father. I am going to clean the closets. I'm so excited.
All right. Good for you. Clean those closets. All right. Sounds exciting. Have a good weekend, folks. We'll see you Monday morning right here, 10 a.m. live for Up to the Minute.